Though the separatist movement itself was generally in the right, the Confederacy of Independent Systems allied with some pretty evil factions, and of its more unsavory allies, none were more vile than the Zygerrian slave empire. Long ago, the Zygerrians had built an empire for themselves off the slave trade before the Jedi came along and forced them out of business. But the chaos of the Clone Wars gave the Zygerrians an opportunity to rebuild and return to enslaving planets, forcing the Jedi to intervene once more. In this video, we'll be telling the tale of the Battle of Kadavo, the conflict in which the Republic broke the back of the resurgent Zygerrian Empire.
Attention, Sergeant on deck!
During the Clone Wars, most of the galaxy was divided between loyalist and separatist worlds, but a select few remained neutral, either to play both sides or out of a misguided belief in pacifism. The Togruta colony of Kiros fell into the latter category, and their aversion to violence ultimately left them vulnerable when the war finally arrived on their doorstep. In late 21 BBY, a CIS invasion force arrived on Kiros, and the Togrutas, unwilling to fight back, promptly surrendered to them. As the Separatists deployed their battle droids in the Togruta settlements, the entire planet's population was herded into troop ships, ostensibly to be brought somewhere safe and far from the front lines of the Clone Wars. But they were instead taken to Zygerria, the homeworld of one of the Confederacy's newest allies. There, the Togrutas were forced into slavery. The Zygerrians prepared to auction them off to the highest bidder, hoping that the people of Kiros would be the first of many to be sold on Zygerria, the foundation of a new Zygerrian slave empire. The Confederacy secretly supported this effort as Count Dooku, a secret Sith Lord, believed that the soon-to-be established galactic empire would require a base of non-human slaves, as many Sith empires before it had had. He was encouraged in this effort by his master, Darth Sidious, who was thinking along the same lines. Fortunately for the Togrutas, however, Republic forces soon arrived on Kiros to investigate the locals' disappearance, and they quickly retook the colony from the Separatist garrison there. The operation to retake Kiros was commanded by Jedi Generals Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, who discovered that the commander of the Separatist garrison was a Zygerrian slaver. After driving off the Separatists and retaking Kiros, the Jedi determined that the Togrutas had likely been taken to Zygerria to be sold into slavery. Skywalker, Kenobi, Ahsoka Tano, and Captain Rex thus embarked on a mission to the slavers' homeworld, hoping to rescue the Togrutas and investigate the Zygerrians' resurgence. On Zygerria, the Jedi discovered that the ruler of the Zygerrians, Queen Mirage Sintel, was planning a grand slave auction. The team infiltrated the auction, with Skywalker pretending to be a slaver seeking to join Sintel, Ahsoka acting as a slave, and Kenobi and Rex disguising themselves as guards. But the auction was a trap and the team fell right into it. All four were captured and enslaved. Kenobi and Rex were shipped off to be processed with the Togruta, who were being held at a slave processing facility on the planet Kadavo, while Tano was held prisoner at the Zygerrian palace, and Sintel claimed Skywalker to be her personal servant. Sintel had apparently taken a liking to Skywalker, and she wasn't put off by his burning hatred of Zygerrians and the slave trade. On Kadavo, Kenobi and Rex successfully located the Togrutas from Kiros, but they were powerless to help them, and they were brutalized by the facility's guards, who were commanded by the vicious keeper, Agrus. The Kadavo facility was built for maximum security, suspended over a pool of lava in one of Kadavo's numerous volcanic calderas, and Agrus routinely dropped slaves into the lava to die to punish defiance. He cowed Kenobi's attempts at resistance by killing innocent Togrutas, promising to kill more if the Jedi instigated a rebellion. This wasn't enough for Agrus, however, and after receiving orders from Count Dooku to execute both Republic prisoners, he was eager to comply. Fortunately, Skywalker and Tano were able to escape their bonds on Zygerria, and they learned that the others were being held on Kadavo. They stole a Zygerrian slave ship, the Takora, and made for Kadavo as quickly as they could. They also sent a message to the Republic Navy, appraising them of the situation and requesting reinforcements. The message was received by Admiral Coburn and Jedi Master Plo Koon, who quickly rallied a small fleet group and the Wolfpack to join the brewing Battle of Kadavo. The Takora held together for long enough for Skywalker and Tano to make it to the Kadavo facility, but they had only just disembarked when the ship was destroyed by the Zygerrians' on-site turbo laser batteries. Undeterred, they began a two-person assault on the facility, cutting down slaver scum without hesitation or remorse. When not even the facility's blast doors were able to slow the Jedi down, Agrus contacted Count Dooku for advice. The Count ordered him to herd the Togruta onto a platform suspended above the caldera and threatened to drop them if Skywalker refused to surrender. Agrus did as ordered, and Kenobi begged Skywalker to relent to prevent more innocent deaths, but instead of surrendering, Skywalker called in his reinforcements. Admiral Coburn arrived with two ships, a Venator-class Star Destroyer, which remained in orbit, and an Architons-class light cruiser, the Hand of Justice, which descended into Kadavo's atmosphere. The Star Destroyer deployed waves of Z-95 headhunters and LAAT gunships, led by Plo Koon from the cockpit of his personal starfighter, the Blade of Dorian. The Zygerrians scrambled HH-87 Starhoppers in response, but Plo Koon and his pilots had the advantage of both numbers and skill, and they made short work of the facility's air wing. But the facility's turbo lasers were still functional, and they were a big problem for Plo's fighters. The turbo lasers were protected by deflector shields, which meant the Republic's fighters couldn't do anything about them. As this situation developed, Admiral Coburn and Commander Wolf descended toward the facility aboard the Hand of Justice, but they were unable to get close enough until the turbo lasers were eliminated. Meanwhile, as Skywalker and Tano pushed further into the facility, Kenobi and Rex broke free of their restraints and attacked the guards. Agrus, unwilling to let the Jedi win, gave the order for the slaves to be killed and then destroyed the facility's console, preventing Kenobi from countermanding the order. Kenobi alerted Koon and Skywalker to the situation, and Skywalker set off to destroy the turbo lasers while Ahsoka went to help the slaves. Skywalker killed the operators of one of the turrets and used it to destroy the others, allowing Admiral Coburn to bring the Hand of Justice close to the facility. Ahsoka advised him to bring the cruiser under the platform where the slaves were being held, allowing them to drop safely onto the hull of the ship. Coburn did as advised, and Commander Wolf led the Wolfpack out to help with the evacuation. Inside the facility, Kenobi and Rex finished off the guards, and Rex took out Keeper Agrus. They and Skywalker were evacuated from the facility aboard an LAAT gunship, while Ahsoka and the Wolfpack successfully got the Togruta to safety aboard the Hand of Justice. Once everyone was evacuated, Plo Koon ordered his gunships to fire on the facility, destroying it and killing all remaining slaver vermin left within. The Battle of Kadavo was a total victory for the Republic, which suffered minimal casualties, losing just one LAAT gunship. The destruction of the Kadavo facility crippled the Zygerrian slave empire, which lost its alliance with the Confederacy soon after. The threat of the Zygerrians' return was ended, at least for a time. Meanwhile, the people of Kiros were returned to their homeworld. Scarred by the horrors they had been subjected to, they gave up their pacifist codes and vowed to join the Republic. The leader of the Kiros colony, General Roshti, believed it would take some time for his people to recover from the affair, and he authorized the Grand Army of the Republic to train them in self-defense, lest Kiros come under attack again. So that's the story of the Battle of Kadavo, which you might remember from Star Wars The Clone Wars' Slaves of the Republic story arc. But what do you think? Are there other Clone Wars battles you'd like to see a video on? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below, and as always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.